Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something huge, something almost everyone thinks about at some point. How do you actually lose belly fat?
Yeah.
Because we see all the noise, right?
Yeah.
The flat stomach in 7 days, the magic pills.
Oh, absolutely.
But we know real change, the kind that sticks, it takes time, it takes consistency, making smart choices. It's definitely not a one-week fix.
Exactly. And that's what this deep dive is really about. We're not pushing some new fad here.
Right.
Our goal, based on the research we looked at, is to give you a clear, healthy roadmap, cutting through those, misleading promises.
Okay.
And really clarify the integrated approach you need, getting past those quick fixes that they lead to disappointment usually.
Okay, let's dive in then. We have to
Yeah.
start with some basics, some definitions.
Yeah.
Because when people say belly fat, they often mean just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the source material we reviewed makes a really key distinction. There are actually two different types involved here.
Precisely. You have to know the target if you want to hit it, right? So yeah, two main types of fat around the middle.
Okay.
First, you've got subcutaneous fat. That's the stuff just under the skin.
The stuff you can pinch.
That's the one, the soft, kind of jiggly fat. And while, it's often the aesthetic concern people have,
Sure.
on its own, it's generally seen as less metabolically active, less dangerous, relatively speaking.
So, interesting. People often worry most about the fat they can actually see and feel, but the research points somewhere else for the real health risk.
Absolutely. The one that should really set off the health alarms is visceral fat.
Okay, visceral.
This is the fat that's deeper. It actually wraps around your internal organs, your liver, your kidneys, your heart. It's inside the abdominal cavity.
And what makes that type the dangerous one?
Well, visceral fat is highly metabolically active. That's the key. It releases these inflammatory molecules, things like free fatty acids, directly into your bloodstream. And that's what ramps up the risk for serious conditions, insulin resistance, heart disease, type 2 diabetes.
Wow, okay. That completely changes the stakes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just about how your clothes fit.
Not at all.
It's about actively protecting your organ health, your internal functioning. So when you're trying to reduce belly fat the right way, you're really targeting that dangerous internal fat.
That is the absolute key takeaway for you listening. Yes, the aesthetic change might happen, and that's great, a nice byproduct.
Right.
But the main reason to tackle this successfully is to lower inflammation, reduce that metabolic risk that comes from too much visceral fat. It makes every healthy choice feel, more meaningful.
Okay, that makes sense. Now let's tackle something that trips a lot of people up. Spot reduction.
Ah, yes. The myth.
The big one. We've all seen those videos,
Yeah.
right? The intense 15-minute ab workouts promising to just melt fat off your waistline. But the question is, do hundreds of crunches actually burn the fat from your belly specifically?
Yeah, it's a really common belief. But the science here is crystal clear. No.
Just no.
Just no. You simply cannot choose where your body loses fat. Think about it like this. When you exercise a muscle, any muscle, you're burning calories, yes.
Right?
But your body draws those calories from its overall energy stores, systemically, all over.
So if I do an hour of crunches, my body isn't just sucking the fuel out of my belly fat.
Nope. It's pulling fat from stores everywhere, arms, legs, face, belly, slowly and pretty evenly. The location of the workout, it just doesn't dictate the location of the fat burn.
No.
The actual way fat loss happens physiologically, it requires a consistent caloric deficit. You need to burn more energy than you take in over time.
Right, the deficit.
And here's the kicker. trying to create that deficit just through exercise, especially targeted exercise like crunches, it's incredibly inefficient.
Why inefficient? If I burn, say, 300 calories doing abs, isn't that helpful?
It is helpful for fitness, but think about the effort for those 300 calories. It's a lot of work. You'd have to do so many reps to make a real dent in fat stores just from that. It's honestly much, much easier to just not consume those 300 calories in the first place.
Okay. Like choosing water over a soda.
Exactly. Or swapping a processed snack for an apple. That's why their research consistently points to diet being the primary driver. You really can't out-exercise a poor diet when fat loss is the main goal.
So exercise is still important, obviously.
Oh, phenomenal for health, cardiovascular fitness, building muscle, which boosts metabolism, mental health, loads of benefits. But it's just not the best primary tool for creating the significant calorie deficit needed for fat loss itself.
Which brings us nicely to the next point. The focus shifts then, away from those intense, targeted sessions, maybe more towards just simple, consistent movement.
Yes, exactly. Especially at the beginning.
So, does the intensity matter less than just doing something regularly? Is walking for 30 minutes better than, 10 minutes of killer sprints for this specific goal?
For starting fat loss, yeah, consistency generally beats intensity. Simple movement is great because it usually doesn't spike stress hormones the way really intense workouts can, especially if you're new to it.
Okay.
The sources we looked at really suggest prioritizing things like regular walks, light workouts consistently, even dancing if you enjoy it.
Good.
Yeah. The goal is kind of twofold. One, burn some calories, sure, but also just increase your overall activity level throughout the day, what scientists call NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, just moving more.
Right, taking the stairs, fidgeting.
Stuff. And crucially, movement significantly improves your insulin sensitivity. And that's key for tackling visceral fat.
Okay, insulin sensitivity. That connects directly to the biggest piece of the puzzle, doesn't it? Diet.
The dominant lever,
Yes.
absolutely.
The sources were really clear on this.
Yeah.
What you eat matters more than pretty much anything else.
Without a doubt. If you look at sustained weight management, diet is, easily 80% of the battle.
Wow.
And the sources strongly advise against jumping into really strict, complicated diets.
Why is that?
Because they're almost impossible to stick with long term. Sustainability is everything.
Makes sense.
Instead, the focus should be on simple, high-impact changes. Things you can actually turn into habits.
Okay, so what are those specific, actionable things beyond just eat healthy?
Yeah.
What really moves the needle, according to the research?
The main goal should be minimizing foods that send your blood sugar on a roller coaster.
The spikes and crashes.
Exactly, because that drives up insulin, and insulin encourages fat storage, especially that visceral fat we talked about.
Got it.
So, practically, that means increasing whole foods. Think vegetables, lean proteins, eggs, fish are great and complex, whole grains. Fiber is your friend here.
And cutting back on.
Aggressively cutting back on refined carbs, sugary stuff, processed snacks, and the hidden sugars. That's a big one.
Okay, hidden sugars. That's where people get tripped up, right? We talked about this. Where are they lurking?
Oh, everywhere. Seriously. The research really highlights how much people underestimate sugar in seemingly healthy or at least neutral foods.
Like
Flavored yogurts can be loaded, pasta sauces, salad dressings, breakfast cereals, and critically, liquid calories.
drinks?
Yes, this was a major point in the sources, the impact of liquid sugars. Your body just doesn't register fullness from a can of soda or even a big glass of juice the same way it does from solid food.
Interesting.
You drink hundreds of calories, maybe feel a quick sugar rush, but then you're hungry again pretty soon.
Right.
So swapping out soft drinks, those sugary coffees, even cutting back on too much fruit juice and just drinking water instead. That's probably the single easiest, highest impact change most people can make right away.
That feels like a huge opportunity. A simple switch with potentially big results over time.
Massive.
And when you stick to those whole foods, you're keeping blood sugar stable, reducing the need for tons of insulin,
Exactly.
and basically helping your body tap into those fat stores for energy more easily.
Precisely. You're shifting your body's default mode from constantly managing sugar highs and lows to running smoothly, efficiently on quality, sustained fuel.
Okay, now let's talk about the sneaky factors.
Yeah.
The things that can undermine even really good diet and exercise habits.
Mm-hmm. The hidden variables.
I'm talking about sleep and chronic stress. This seems to be the missing piece for so many people who feel like they're doing everything else right, but just not seeing results, especially around the middle.
This is where we get into the powerful chemistry behind fat storage. It's often the aha moment for people.
Yeah.
The key player here is a hormone called cortisol, the stress hormone.
Right, we hear about cortisol a lot.
Yeah.
But explain the direct link. How does being stressed out or not sleeping enough specifically tell your body to hang on to belly fat?
Okay, so think about it evolutionarily. When you're constantly stressed or chronically sleep deprived, getting less than, say, 7 hours regularly,
Which is a lot of
a
people.
lot of people, your body thinks there's an ongoing emergency, a threat.
Okay.
So your adrenal glands pump out cortisol. Cortisol's job, ancestrally, was to prep you for a crisis, fight or flight. It raises blood sugar for quick energy,
Yeah.
but it also tells your body to store energy, fat, really efficiently for the long haul, just in case the crisis continues. And it seems to preferentially direct that storage right to the visceral fat deposits around the organs.
Wow. Why there specifically? Is there a reason?
Well, some research suggests high cortisol can actually increase the number of fat cells, the adipocytes, in that abdominal region. But critically, chronic cortisol also promotes insulin resistance.
Linking back again.
Exactly. When your cells become resistant to insulin's message, the extra glucose floating around in your blood has difficulty getting into the cells for energy. So where does it go?
Into fat storage.
Bingo! And those visceral fat cells are primed and ready to soak it up. So even if your diet is perfect, if you're constantly stressed and only sleeping 5 hours, you're essentially fighting against your own hormonal signals. You're chemically undermining your efforts.
So managing stress, prioritizing sleep. It's not just fluffy wellness advice.
Not at all.
It's a direct metabolic intervention.
Yeah.
It directly impacts the hormonal pathway governing that dangerous visceral fat.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So what are the practical steps then? What do the sources suggest for actually combating this?
The recommendations are often simple, but they can be profound if you actually do them consistently.
Like what?
Integrating regular, genuinely relaxing activities into your day could be reading, maybe a few minutes of quiet time or meditation, enjoying a cup of tea without distraction, finding small pockets of calm.
Okay.
And the big one, absolutely non-negotiable according to the research, aim for at least 7 hours of quality sleep per night. Minimum.
7 hours.
Sleep is when your body does its vital repair work, regulates hormones, gets those cortisol levels back in check. It's foundational.
This all leads to maybe the hardest part for many people.
Yeah.
The timeline. Patience.
Yeah. In our instant gratification world, waiting for results is tough.
especially with this.
Absolutely.
Right.
Real lasting reduction in visceral fat, the kind that improves your health markers.
Right.
It doesn't happen in 7 days or even 14. The sources are really clear. This is a commitment. It plays out over weeks and realistically months. You have to shift your focus
From what to what?
from chasing a number on the scale week to week to focusing on nailing those daily consistent habits. That's where the win is.
So if someone listening is feeling discouraged because the scale hasn't budged much after a few weeks, what should they focus on to keep going?
Focus on the compounding effect. Trust the process. Progress here is often not linear. You might not see much visible change for a bit, and then suddenly things start shifting more rapidly as your body adapts, your hormones rebalance, your metabolism improves.
Okay.
Every single small, healthy choice, choosing the whole food meal, getting that walk in even when you don't feel like it, hitting that 7 hours of sleep, it's an investment. It all adds up exponentially over time. That's what builds momentum for the big changes.
So the ultimate goal here, weaving everything together from the research, it's not just about losing fat, is it?
No, not at all.
The final frame seems more powerful. It's like you're not just shrinking your waistline, you're building a stronger, more resilient, healthier version of yourself from the inside out.
Precisely. It's about fundamentally improving your internal health. We've really covered an integrated picture today, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely.
First, understanding that visceral fat isn't just unsightly, it's dangerous. Second, prioritizing those small, sustainable dietary tweaks over drastic diets.
Right.
Third, integrating consistent movement, not necessarily crazy intensity, but regular activity to boost metabolism and insulin sensitivity. And fourth, maybe the missing link for many, managing cortisol via better sleep and stress reduction.
And consistency across all those is key.
Consistency is your superpower here, absolutely.
Okay, so this whole deep dive really hammers home that good health is built on tiny, consistent daily actions. So here's a final thought for you, the listener, to consider. Looking at your own life right now and thinking about everything we've discussed, which one small, consistent change, maybe it's guaranteeing that 7 hours of sleep, maybe it's ensuring you drink water first thing every morning, or making one specific simple food swap daily, which one thing do you think would have the biggest cumulative compounding positive effect on your overall health and well-being over the next, say, 3 months?
That's a great question.
Find that one thing, just one, and commit to it. See what happens.